So let's say I wanted to combine this zipper and make it so, this pair of scissors was able to zip up. So in order to do that, I'm going to hit Control T. I'm going to change the size of it. I'm going to decrease it a bit, and I'm going to do that same trick that I've shown you a few times. I'm going to decrease the opacity, and let me actually change the background to white. So I'm just going to flip this right here. Going to use the fill tool in order to make the background white, just because it's a little bit easier for me to see it that way. All right, here we go. So I'm going to hit Control T again, and you see this little point right here? If I move this point, it will actually keep that as the center point when I rotate right there. So there's a little tip that I haven't shown you yet. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to bring the opacity back up to 100%. I'm going to bring this below the scissors right there. And I mean, we've already done half of it right there. Now what I need to do is I need to make it so the only part that we see is the zipper. We don't see this little background right there. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the quick selection tool to select the background because it's a more uniform color. And I'm just going to hit, well, first I'm going to refine edge. And honestly, I'm not really able to see what's happening when I refine the edge here. So before I do that, I'm going to right click, select the inverse, then go to refine edge. I'm going to set it on white, just so it's a little bit clear. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to say, okay, done. Now when I hit delete, because we inverted it, the wrong part gets deleted. So I'm going to invert it again, then hit delete, then deselect with Control D, and now we're left with a pretty great zipper that is just simply a zipper. So here we go. If I had zoomed in, I could get an even more specific thing. So I would go down here a little bit, and now let's duplicate this. So I'm just going to move this down here to duplicate it. I'm going to hit Control T. I'm going to right click, flip horizontally, which flips it horizontally. Make it so there's another one on this other side. And again, if I move this, this becomes the center point. So now if I rotate this here, let's move it up a little bit. Make it so it rotates some. There we go. And move it so it looks like that right there. Now I'm seeing some weirdo edges around, so I'm just going to erase them out. So here we go. Let's erase them out. Where are those weirdo edges? I just want to get rid of them. Do you see that right here? Do you see that little black line? I don't want that. So I'm not sure which layer that's on. It looks like it's on this layer, so I'll go to that layer. See what I did in order to find what layer it was on? I just turned off the other layers. It was just that simple. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go up, and I'm just going to kind of erase out everything that I don't want. Erase, erase, erase. Going to go to the layer that I want to erase more out of. Erase, erase, erase. Now, if you erase too much, the way to do it right now is to go back in the history palette. There actually is a better way using masks, but we're going to avoid using masks for this series just because it's a little bit too advanced of a subject to deal with when you're first dealing with Photoshop. And I don't want to add in unnecessary confusion. For now, this is more than enough. All right, so here we go, where we just added a zipper to this pair of scissors. I'm pretty happy with that, considering we did it in, what, a minute and a half? Now, if we wanted to do fixes to all of these different things, all we do is we'd select here, we could erase it out. So I'm just going to erase that out right there. Just looking for all of the little stray bits. So I can see there's a little stray bit right there. I'm going to go to my Move tool. I selected the wrong thing. So again, let's go to my Move tool. That looks about right. Go down to my eraser. You'll notice that I'm just hitting the keyboard shortcut for eraser, which is E, and that jumps me to that tool, just as V jumps me to the Move tool. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but if you hover your mouse over them, it will tell you in parentheses. Just a way to get to all of them and use a shortcut key. So I'm turning them on and off, looking for the one that turns off this line. Bingo, it's this layer right here. So I'm going to go to my eraser tool again, erase it right there. And here what we have is some weirdo amalgamation of a shape. Let's crop this down. So here's our crop tool. And I'm just going to crop this down, hit enter, hit Control 0 to see it in all of its glory. And we have just created this using nothing more than selections, the eraser tool, and I mean, that's really it. Maybe the transform tool. Let's take someone out of an image and add a different person into it next.